You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What is happening on a Tuesday afternoon? Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man. And we are coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. As always, I ask you to just visit our website, kaplanandcrew.com. It's the easiest place to find all of our stuff. Instagrams, tweets, YouTube videos, cited polls, Browner black blog, brown bag blog.
Whoa.
Wait,
The brown bag blog, okay? Not the black brown bag blog.
There was no black blog.
Yeah,
it was brown black blue black.
You definitely said the word black.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
It's the black. The
there
black.
You see?
I'm trying to figure it out. The black, brown. The brown bag blog. The black bag blog.
Oh, God.
The triple B's, man.
I guess
That's
so.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
The brown bag blog.
When is
That's
the new
it.
blog entry to the brown bag blog?
blog.
It should be tonight, man. Hey, oh, by the way, I'm working on some mink t-shirts too.
We've been talking about t-shirts for a year. Man.
These are going to be produced by me, made by me, sold by me.
All right. Well, I talked to Fat Tony about this just the other day.
That's a you thing.
And well, we got to get on the same page here, because I think
you and Fat Tony gonna sell shirts. I'm gonna sell shirts. We're gonna sell different shirts.
Nah, we need to get on the same page. We need to sell one thing,
It's done properly.
Right.
Mink,
it can't be
mink.
I like the idea of the mink t-shirts though.
Mm-hmm.
Man, even if we sell 2 shirts that say mink, that's a win,
Yeah.
Like who cares? It's not really about the money. It's just about getting our stuff out there.
Yeah, I think that's right. Like any catchphrases, popular phrases.
Yeah.
And if you're a great friend, you're going to want to have the entire series of the t-shirts, but you're not going to want to buy some from Browner and some from here. It's just that's not smart, man. We got to do it.
Browner been trying to sell shirts for 2 years now, dude.
I was waiting on clearance from the top, but I ain't getting it, so I'm going rogue.
Yeah.
Did you
Going rogue one.
Did you design the shirt?
Come on, man, don't start
Or
that.
I'm just asking a question.
Don't
Just a
start
simple
that.
question.
That's
If you
all.
designed the shirt
Don't start
that
that,
says
man.
mink, man.
Don't start that. Don't start that. Do better. Do better.
Yeah, do better.
Just
do better.
asking a question here. That's all.
All right.
Do better.
Speaking of doing better, let's just jump right into something here, which is the Padres, because there is a lot of statistical data that would tell us that the Padres are not doing better.
Stink.
And they need to do better, particularly on the offensive side. When you go to Colorado and you are scoreless into the 9th inning and you're on the verge of being shut out, if it's not for 1 2-run home run late in the game that actually makes the score look like it was a competitive ball game. But you're on the verge, like literally on the verge of being shut out in Colorado. That doesn't happen. Okay. And
there's one shutout so far this year in Colorado. It was like April 7th where the Rockies beat the Diamondbacks 8-0. Other than that, I think before that, it was it doesn't happen. Okay. It's just like it shouldn't happen in Colorado.
Shouldn't, but it was on the verge of happening last night. And things were not going well along the way. Colorado hit a home run. Will Myers is in the outfield and Will Myers can't find the ball. He's like, anybody help? Can I get a little help over here? Anybody see the ball? And he couldn't see it to even try and catch it, let alone realize that the ball had gone out of the ballpark for a home run. And it was one of those moments where people were having a really good time at White Queso's expense because they're like, look, this is the Padres right now. They can't find the ball. That's what's going on right now. Alex, can you show that play for everybody that maybe didn't see it?
I do know that will never happen to him at first base.
Yeah, why is that?
Because when he's at first base, he can see the ball go up and he can see the ball go out. Chris Bryant will be in right field catching those balls.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Chris Bryant comes to the Padres and Will Myers moves to first base, that's going to be a problem. Will Myers not a first baseman. Just like he wasn't.
We're literally going to switch positions again on Will Myers.
No, I don't think so.
Done that
man.
enough?
If anything, I put Chris Bryant at first base before I put Will Myers at first base. All right, let's take a look at this video. Can we see this? All right, for those of you that are listening, here it is.
High fly ball, deep right.
He doesn't see it.
Myers
He
does
lost
not
it.
see it. No idea. Doesn't matter. It's gone. 2-0 Colorado.
Will Myers' face, he's like, I can't see it. Help me. Somebody help. Where is it?
Oh man, I gotta
That's not
say,
a- that's not a good look.
this season has had its ups and downs, really good highs. The lows haven't been too bad. This is probably the lowest point for me of the season. Last night, going 8 scoreless innings in Colorado. Will Myers doing that. That's pretty much as low as this team's got to be, right? I mean, my goodness, that's just brutal to have that highlight live for the rest of the year where you're looking like that. And he's been so bad. And offensively as well. It's just been this last night to me, the lowest point of the season.
Listen, the more people have come into the stands, the more Will Myers has begun to struggle. I got to tell you, if this is the lowest point of the season, that's good. It's a good thing because when they make it to the playoffs, they win a division. You won't remember this day. You won't remember that. You probably remember that play.
I'm gonna remember that
because it was funny. You'll remember that play. You won't remember this point in the season.
I'm not gonna let him live that down. Actually,
that's a great GIF. That's a great GIF. Somebody got to put a GIF on that.
Let me ask you another question though. But hold on. Let me ask you a question, Browner. What if the Padres don't make it to the playoffs? What if, seriously, like what if things don't go the way you say they're going to go? Let's all hope
Fire
you're right.
Tingler.
Let's all hope you're right.
Well, that's step one.
Right.
Fire Tingler.
But if they don't make it to the playoffs, we actually will look back at this period of time. Because, Alex, if you put up on the screen for everybody to see how bad things have been over, call it the last like 12, 13-ish kinds of games.
Just the month of June has been pretty brutal.
Go ahead. Put it up on the screen. Let's take a look here. Go ahead. Take us through it.
Well, they're 4-9. The team batting average is 195. They've been outscored 35-50. And their team on base percentage has dipped 50 points or 52 points from an average of 325 to 273. And they went from having, I believe, the second or third best record in baseball to like 10th, 11th best record in baseball.
Yep. And now, if you put up the standings, just to the point, Browner, hate to be the person who rains on the parade here, but I'm conditioned this way because 20 years of following and covering and fanning for the Padres, 20 years will scar a fan. Okay. And here's the standings, because as the Padres were in second place, they were in first place, they were back down to second place. Now they're in third place. And the Dodgers, to their credit, they're coming on. You know?
Hey, man, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Man.
Go ahead.
Hi, Venti.
Hey, man, if you've been in a relationship for 20 years
Yeah.
and then you meet a new boo, you going to keep talking about that 20-year boo, or you going to be focused on that new boo? There's a new team, Scott.
No, it's not a new boo.
No, they're
though.
doing
but not a new boo.
I would say that
That's why they switched the jerseys.
Might be a new boo, but they're doing what the old boo did. They're doing what the old boo did. They were great in April, pretty okay in May, and now they're tanking in June. This is very familiar to the old boo. This is going to lead me to break up with them if they keep doing this.
Oh man, no, you're not. Who didn't go back to who? The old boo? No, you ain't going back to the old boo. You had 20 years of that.
Then I start preparing for fantasy football.
Right. I mean, that's just it, Browner, is that if the Padres continue on this downward trend, the 4th of July will be here. Del Mar's opening day will be here. Football training camps will open. And if this trend continues, the Dodgers, perhaps even the Giants, will go on to battle things out in the NL West. And all of a sudden, the Padres will be back down in that category of Colorado and Arizona and not competitive. Look, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope this
I also don't think it'll happen. Whereas previous years, I was expecting it.
Look, the Dodgers, remember when we were talking about, well, look, over the last 20 games, the Dodgers are 5-15. They've gotten over that, and they've now made a strong comeback, have the Dodgers. The Dodgers have made their strong comeback simultaneously while the Padres are struggling and scuffling and not playing well and not winning games. And all the offensive statistics tell you that they can't score, they can't hit right now. So the Dodgers have already gone through this. The Padres are going through their dip. The Giants have yet to do it, although the Giants, this is something we haven't really talked about, their schedule has been much more forgiving than the Padres thus far.
Right. I mean, if you look at the standings in the National League, just not the National League West, look who is in front of the Padres. And it's going to sound very familiar because the Mets are above them, 33 and 25. The Cubs are above the Mets, 38 and 28. The Brewers are then 38 and 28. And then the Dodgers and Giants, who did the Padres just play the last 2 weeks, it feels like.
Right, right. I mean, all of a sudden you see, though, and this is another reason to be alarmed. Okay, this is not oh, hey, they're going to be fine. They're still going to the postseason. They're still going to win the World Series. The Mets, the Cubs, and the Brewers are all teams that the Padres have struggled against or lost series to, been swept by. But it turns out those are the teams that are actually the best teams. So, I mean, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about the Padres against good teams.
And who's coming to town as well. We keep saying that the schedule gets easier, which in theory, yes, when you play the Rockies a bunch, it does get easier. But coming to town on Thursday is the Reds, and that's who's right below the Padres. They're 33 and 31.
The only team of that mix, I will honestly tell you that I'm a little worried about is the Brewers, because their first two pitchers are unbelievable. They're pitching lights out. Everybody else, I'm not really that overly worried about. The Mets, the guy who nobody could hit, DeGrom, is now hurt. So
he's back though.
He'll be hurt again. It's an arm.
No, I would say the bigger thing that I'm paying attention to the most is not who's performing well, who's not when it comes to pitchers, is who performed really well early on in the season and now all of a sudden is tailing off with this MLB crackdown coming in.
Spin rate.
I don't care about spin rate. I want to see like actual stats. Senor Trevor Bauer, whose ERA in the last 3 games has gone up to about 5. So
shocker.
When you have pitchers that are dominating in the league and you have reports that anywhere from 70 to 90% of pitchers are using this and that teams are aware of it, and now the MLB is going to crack down with, well, I say crack down, but really it's just a 10-game suspension with pay.
With pay.
It's supposed to be suspensions announced today. At some point today, they're supposed to announce suspensions.
I'll be very curious to see. Just keep an eye on who starts performing terribly, who starts performing well.
I will say that this notion of suspending a pitcher for 10 days with pay, if I were a pitcher, I'd be like, 10 days, 2 starts, I can just chill out for a little bit, rest my arm.
Hang out take my family on vacation.
Right. You know what? With pay, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
10-day suspension with pay. I don't mind that.
I guess my follow-up question to whoever wrote that or Jeff Passan would be, so what happens if you get caught a second time? Is it just a one and done 10 games and then you come back and start cheating again? Or is there now a 20-game suspension and the third time is now 30? Because in steroids, what is it, like 80 and then a whole season and then banned for life? So what is it in baseball? Are you really going to crack down on this thing? If it's really that important to Major League Baseball, what happens a second time? What happens a third time? Because a 10-day, I don't even think it's 10-game. I think it's 10-day suspension with pay sounds like a nice little break in the middle of the season.
Right.
I don't understand where they get off paying guys through suspensions. Like, you're suspended. You shouldn't be paying people who broke the rules and cheated, and now you're going to pay them to just go sit down for 10 days? Like, I don't get it. These suspensions for pitchers should be tied to starts. They shouldn't be suspended for days. They should be suspended for
10
starts.
Dude, their track record of suspending players or player punishment for cheating is 0. They did 0 to the Houston Astros, who were caught and found guilty of a giant cheating scandal that helped them win a World Series. And now, because hitters are hitting less and pitchers are mowing them down with this nonsense higher spin rate over this goo that they're using on their fingers, now Major League Baseball is like, okay, we need more hits. Take that stuff away from them. Make them pitch batting practice. That's all we care about is hit the ball, score runs, hit home runs, excite the fans. And that's where the crackdown is coming from. This Trevor Bauer part of it is interesting because I'm trying to remember if it was Saturday he pitched for the Dodgers.
Sunday.
Was it Sunday? So Saturday was Walker Buehler. And Buehler, I talked about this yesterday. He's gone like 22 starts and the Dodgers have won every game that he has started. Doesn't mean he's won every game, but in every game that he started dating back like 20 plus games, they've won every one of their games. Bauer shows up talking a lot, shutting his eye, lots of YouTube videos, $102 million contract, and now is the face, I think, or one of the faces. I guess I would put Garrett Cole in there from the Yankees
I'd
also.
probably
since he
say
got
Bauer,
so
though.
But
I honestly
Bauer's,
would say Bauer's the
yeah,
guy.
Bauer's the number one guy who's been outwardly bragging to everybody. Yeah, I'm using it because baseball's not banning it. When you ban it from everybody, I'll stop using it. Oh, really? Well, how will you look when you actually don't have this stuff? And he goes, go back a couple of years, take a look at my numbers. That's how I'll be.
Here's the let's just go through it then. Why not? His last 4 starts. Let's go from there. Okay, so May 21st was against the Giants. He went 6 1/3. He didn't give up any earned runs, 11 strikeouts. That is like really good for right. And then here we go. May 26th against the Astros. Only 3 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. Not too bad. But then against the Cardinals, May 31st, 5 strikeouts, 3 earned runs. He gave up 3 home runs. Then you go against the Braves, June 6th, only 3 earned runs. And then June 12th against the or this past Saturday, like you said, 4 earned runs. So he went from like giving up no runs at all season to all of a sudden he's given up 12 his last 4 starts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't look at that and tell me that that's not a trend. That's not a developing trend in the pitching. Look, I don't watch baseball for strikeouts. I'm sorry. I watch baseball for offense. Like everybody else watches every other sport. Like I like defense in football because guys getting cracked is awesome. But watching baseball to see guys strike out, I don't want to do that. I want to see guys get hits. I want to see guys steal bases. I want to see great plays in the field, and you can't see that if the guys are striking out. Well, so kudos to baseball. I hope they're able to really put the screws to these dudes.
At all. I question baseball. Why now? Why right now?
Well,
why
you
have to
why.
fix your product, but you have to fix your it's a business. At the end of the day, they need their business to be viable.
Then
Strikeouts are not good for baseball.
Then unjuice the baseballs.
I juice them up. Juice the players up.
Yeah.
Entertain me.
Right, exactly. See, I'm on the entertainment train. I'm not on the pure baseball train. Not at all.
Get out of here.
I actually don't even mind the foreign substances, dude. They've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for all time. Teams coach their players how to do it. Like it's not something brand new. It's not 2 years ago new. It's something that's been happening forever. Where they're talking about this sunscreen and rosin. It's because of all the rules that they've put in place to make baseball as what it is now. You got the unjuicing of the baseballs. You got the switch or whatever the hell it's called. When you're moving Manny Machado to right field, the shift. I always call it switch.
Yeah, terrible. The shift is just awful.
Dude, there's so many things that baseball's done.
Yeah,
it's not just the pitchers should be like using a little sticky stuff on their hat.
They should get a penalty flag for illegal formation. Like an NFL referee should come running out and throw a yellow flag on the field. Illegal formation, third baseman in right field. 5-yard penalty, you back over to third base. It's so annoying.
If you employ the shift, the batter gets to start with 2 balls.
How about if you employ the shift, you got to take someone out of the field? Huh?
Oh,
let's get silly. Let's get real silly.
The left fielder has to come out.
How about no shifting?
Yeah, it's very simple. No shift.
Or that.
Yeah, just no shifting. Yeah. Hey, for 1 second, let me have a second here.
I like my 2-ball idea, though.
That's not a bad idea. Let me talk to you for a quick second.
Rule.
Yeah, it's like a beer softball league kind of rule. I like that.
Guys start with 2 strikes.
Hey, give me 1 second here to talk about HES Solar. Look, this is really easy. You're a business owner. You want to save money. You want to put money into your business. You don't need to be spending all of this money paying electric bills. I've told the story about the Brigantine family of restaurants. They have a home base. This is their corporate headquarters. They went with Spencer at HES Solar to do solar energy for their corporate headquarters. And guess what that turned into? $3,000 a month in savings, $36,000 over the course of the year. Hey, what do we do with this newfound $36,000? We hire somebody to do this job. By the way, now we're more productive. We've got more people. We're able to get more accomplished because we're not spending money over here on our electric bill. We're putting our money into our people as an example. This is super simple. If you own a business and you want to save money, now is the time to go solar. And you email our man, Spencer Holt. His email is spencer@hessolar.com. Spencer@hessolar.com. He can help you with your home as well, just by the way. But business is really his area of expertise, and he can help save your business a lot of money. All right, fellas, we talked a lot of baseball here this segment. I got to say, I was watching last night the Clippers and the Jazz. And Browner, like you just said about baseball, entertain me. I got to say, Kawhi Leonard is entertaining when he drives the lane and dunks on a fool, which leads me to just my lack of scouting. I could never, ever have projected that Kawhi Leonard would be this player in the NBA. I mean, his mid-range jump shot, his three-point jump shot, and the way he plays above the rim. Alex, when he was at San Diego State, he never looked like this. He never had like explosive highlight kinds of dunks where you went, oh my God, this guy in the NBA.
I will say though, to be fair to a lot of Aztecs fans, he always had the potential to turn into something that he's turned into. He developed a jump shot.
Don't cheer now. Don't cheer now.
He developed a jump shot. Oh, I'm not cheering. I'm just telling you.
He
developed a jump shot. And, it wasn't against Rudy Gobert. That's all I'll say.
He developed a jump shot, and it wasn't against Rudy Gobert?
Was not against Rudy Gobert.
No, that's right. Okay, hey, let's talk about this. Coming right back.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Southern California radio is a special game, a unique game from the sandy beaches of the Baja and all the way to Santa Barbara. My voice sounds pretty cool. The all-new and mightier 1090.
Adios, love handles.
Adios, couch.
Adios, Quarantine 15.
Say adios to the quarantine bod with Pollo Fit Bowls, made with fire-grilled chicken and organic super greens from El Pollo Loco.
The Olympic Games, where the eyes of the world will turn to Tokyo for the greatest show on Earth. Catch all the action leading up to the Olympic Games on Countdown to Tokyo every Tuesday at 7 on YourView. You'll get the latest news on preparations for the Games, details about the sports involved, and in-depth insights into teams, athletes, and the host city. Don't miss Countdown to Tokyo, Tuesdays at 7 on YourView.
COVID vaccines are safe, convenient, and free, and they are effective at protecting you against the coronavirus. I'm Dr. Akilah Weber, a pediatric gynecologist and state assembly member, and I got the vaccine to protect my family. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and everyone who receives the vaccine helps us get one step closer to returning to normal. Go get your vaccine today. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find a site near you. Do it for yourself, your family, and for our community.
We have a term for typical cheese-filled, grease-covered, regret-inducing takeout. That's why dinner from El Pollo Loco is always fire-grilled, freshly prepared, feel-good food. The $20 Familia Dinner from El Pollo Loco.
Let's take it up a notch with Kaplan and Crew tonight's Premium Boost, powered by the mightier 1090.
Welcome to the Jacobs & Cushman San Diego Food Bank and our 90,000 square foot facility. We feed 350,000 people every single month. Many people ask, how can I help? You can volunteer for the San Diego Food Bank. Just go to sandiegofoodbank.org, register to volunteer. No group is too small, no group is too large, but those volunteers are integral to our success in feeding the community. Another way you can help is by hosting a food drive. Just go online and register your group, your company, or organization. It's that easy. Another great way is through our virtual food drive, where you can literally buy food on our behalf. Lastly, another great way to make an impact is to go online and make a financial contribution to the San Diego or North County Food Bank. On behalf of the San Diego Food Bank, our staff, our volunteers, and the 350,000 people we serve every month, thank you for helping us fight hunger and feed hope in San Diego County.
Casa de Amparo has been around since 1978, and now we're in the Twin Oaks Valley in San Marcos with a beautiful campus We work with children and families who've experienced chronic trauma over their lifetime, and we're here to help heal that.
I always told myself, seeing that my mother passed away through domestic violence, that I would never put myself in that position. And if it ever happened, I would leave. But it's easier said than done.
These are foster youth who are not able to manage in a foster home environment. My husband and I have been a part of the San Marcos community in our businesses since 1993.
One of the beautiful things about Kayleen, she started here at Casa de Amparo years ago when we were at the shelter with a church group.
How can we best give back is to volunteer our time.
Because without donors like Bassett, we would not be able to provide the services we provide.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's Premium Boost is powered by the Mightier 1090.
Our massive signal covers an area where over 24 million people reside. So if you're listening or advertising on another station, we have only one question. Why? The new generation of radio, the all-new and mightier 1090.
Adios, love handles.
Adios, couch.
Adios, Quarantine 15.
Say adios to the quarantine bod with Pollo Fit Bowls, made with fire-grilled chicken and organic super greens from El Pollo Loco.
Moore's Cancer Center is the only comprehensive cancer center in San Diego, which has NCI designation, which NCI stands for National Cancer Institute. And this is designated to only the highest possible ratings for cancer centers in the country. And that means that it's experts in every medical subspecialty pushing boundaries for difficult to treat cancers. We have a unique blend of cancer research and patient care, which really helps us take care of the whole patient from bench to bedside interventions with the latest research, and we're really pushing the boundaries to treat each individual cancer as much as possible. We're very proud of our leadership here in the community at UCSD.
We have a term for typical cheese-filled, grease-covered, regret-inducing takeout. That's why dinner from El Pollo Loco is always fire-grilled, freshly prepared, feel-good food. The $20 Familia Dinner from El Pollo Loco.
Kaplan and Crew tonight presents Sports in a Minute.
This last weekend in San Diego section boys basketball was full of great games and history being made. After 31 years, the Coronado boys basketball team won the section title in Division II. The Islanders got the win over Orange Glen 51-48 with a down-to-the-wire shot of their own by senior Wayne McKinney. McKinney helped get Coronado out to a fast start with 16 points in the first half, but Orange Glen was able to get a run together in the third quarter to keep things close. The Patriots outscored the Islanders 30-18 in the second half. McKinney and fellow senior Alexander Crawford led Coronado with a combined 42 of the team's 51 points. The last time Coronado won a San Diego section title was 1990. I'm Haley Stasiak. That's your Sports in a Minute. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
I've been a part of this community for a long time, and giving back is what we do. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about the San Diego Giving Back Raffle, a benefit for Ronald McDonald House Charities of San Diego. Grand prize is this $4 million luxury home, or you could win a car, vacation, or cash. Everyone is guaranteed to win a prize. And you'll feel good knowing your raffle purchase goes to help families like the Lechugas. The next early bird deadline is June 18th.
Catch all the action live on your view as the 1904 Football Club takes on the New Amsterdam Football Club, June 16th at 5 p.m.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
All right, everybody. Today is Tuesday here on Kaplan and Crew, and I think unless it's just a little under the radar, I'm not sure if everybody else feels the same way, but it's U.S. Open week of golf, and under normal circumstances, I'd be like, okay, great, I'll talk to you on Sunday, but it's U.S. Open Torrey Pines week here in San Diego, and it's early, but I thought maybe we could start discussing some of the U.S. Open and some of the things that are happening around town. So Jason Finley from Callaway Golf will join us in just a matter of moments. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios here of Kaplan and Crew. If you're listening on 1090, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll catch up with us tonight on television on Channel 4 San Diego and Santa Barbara. It's Channel 118 in Palos Verdes in Orange County. So look, radio, YouTube, TV, audio, podcast platform, wherever you're catching up with us, happy to have everybody along. So Jason Finley is one of the real godfathers of the show, because you remember when we got knocked off 1090 in April of 2019, it was Jason Finley who said, come to Callaway and broadcast here, which I asked the dumb question, which was broadcast where? He said YouTube. I was like, what's that? This is 2 years ago. Alex then tells me we don't even need the radio anymore because we've got YouTube. Finley says, you'll never need radio again. Now we're back on radio. And he goes, hey, actually, I kind of like that you're back on radio too. So here is Jason Finley from his office in Carlsbad at Callaway Golf, getting himself ready for the U.S. Open. Jay Finn, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Scott. How are you today?
I'm actually really good today, as a matter of fact. Yourself?
Pretty good, thanks.
Pretty good. Yeah. Because it's the U.S. Open week and because it's here in San Diego and because you guys are home based here, does this make it a busier, more complicated week, or is it maybe it's easier because you're home?
Yeah, I think, certainly for some of the people that go to tour events every week, it's nice to be home and not have to get on an airplane this week. We have guys that go every single week. I kind of relate it to a traveling circus, right? They show up wherever the tour is every week, and they're there the first part of the week getting the players all ready. So most of those guys, obviously don't have to go anywhere this week. So it's a nice break for them. But we have a lot of guys coming through our performance center up here too, to get themselves ready if they don't want to be, bothered out at the course too. So it's a little bit busier, and obviously, it's a busy time for us to collect content and get content out. But yeah, it's general. We're excited for it.
Yeah. Hey, who are some of the guys that are Callaway brand ambassador players that are going to be in the U.S. Open that early in the week you're already seeing come up to the performance center? Because just yesterday, I got a call from a buddy of mine. He's like, hey, I'm at this coffee shop. Adam Scott is sitting right here. I'm like, yeah, that's what you're going to see all week. You're going to see famous PGA Tour players all around San Diego, and in particular from Torrey Pines, Del Mar, Solana Beach. I mean, just this general area. So.
Yeah, I think, we see the guys, some of them, we have a couple guys that live here locally. So, Phil and Xander are both in there all the time. It's not uncommon that they're in there getting ready. So it's more the guys that, some of the European, the international guys that don't get over here very often because it's so close. We actually had some in there over the weekend getting themselves ready at the test center. We actually had people working over the weekend with the players there. So I think it's more the guys that aren't around as much that we see a little bit more this time of year, particularly those that may not get as much attention on some of the secondary tours where we haven't been as open to having as many people out supporting them as we usually do.
Yeah. Jason Finley from Callaway Golf is with us today. It's Tuesday. The U.S. Open will tee off on Thursday at Torrey Pines. Jay, will you be out there at all this weekend?
I don't think so. This probably sounds a little bad to say, but I don't really enjoy it as much as sitting on my couch and watching.
I agree.
Bro, I'm with you, dude.
Isn't that most sports now at this point? Like, who wants to crowd into a football game or if you don't have a particular sweet seat at some hole, Who wants to walk 18 if you're not playing it?
Well, I would say this, that, seeing those guys hit it in person is significantly different than what you see on TV. But for me, this is where it sounds bad. That's not a new thing for me, right? Like, I grew up playing with somebody that plays out there, and I know how good they are, and I see it, many times a year, and I can drive over to our test center and see them hit if I want to. So for me, I get to see more of it if I watch it on TV, but it is a really cool experience if you haven't experienced. And for that, I would say there's no better place to do it than at Torrey Pines as well.
There's nothing like almost getting hit with an errant ball when you're at a PGA Tour. I remember Patrick Reed but he hit a drive so far, and I don't remember which hole specifically, but that thing literally grazed my earlobe. And I have big earlobes, but damn, dude, that was like the whiz that came through my head. I was like, damn, that's something you don't get.
That's one thing I say to a lot of people is the sound that comes off the club when those guys hit the ball. It's just different, right? Even a good amateur player, it's not the same, right? Yeah. The sound and how far they hit it that's where it's really amazing to see.
Yeah, we're talking to Jason Finley from Callaway Golf and getting ready for the U.S. Open. Let me do this. Let me get I'll name a couple players and you give me your opinion. And then perhaps you have some guys that you want to highlight, but start us off with the obvious. Phil Mickelson. I'm reading a lot this week about Phil, that he's turned off his phone, no distractions, locked in, most recent major champion, coming home to his hometown golf course. It sounds to me like Phil either feels like his game has come together, obviously, having just won the PGA, or maybe he understands the significance of, I've not won a U.S. Open. Doing it here at home would be the absolute cherry on top of this incredible career. Yeah. So, Jay, I'll throw it to you. You see Phil, like you say, up at the test center.
Yeah.
What do you think about Phil's game for this course, for this event this week?
I can't doubt him, right? I mean, if you would have asked me 6 months ago, and even, we joked about it, we did like an internal pool, not pool, but, it was a contest we did where you had to pick a Callaway guy in the PGA, and nobody picked Phil. Literally in the entire company, nobody picked Phil, right? And that's his biggest fans. So I think that it wouldn't surprise me. And to your point, there would be no better story, right, than Phil winning at home and finally getting his U.S. Open, which he's come in second place 6 times, right? Everything about it would be an unbelievable story and be great for golf. So, yeah, I would love to see it. If I had to put my hard-earned money on it, I don't know that that'd be where I would go. But, I definitely think he's fully capable of doing it. He proved that a couple weeks ago.
As a person who is part of such a large company, when you come into a tournament like this, or any tournament, to be honest, what are you looking to get exposure from for your company? Do you want your guy to win per se, or do you want the logo more distributed?
Well, if they win, you get the logo more distributed, right? So it all comes down to TV time. So, we get metrics year round on how much time our logo is visible, and we know where on them, whether it's their front of cap or side of cap or front of shirt, right chest, left chest, sleeve, bag, we know all that. So we definitely use all those analytics and data.
Which one's more important, hat or shirt?
Hat.
Huh.
This is so interesting because this was the conversation we were having just a couple weeks ago, Jay, which was when John Rahm got pulled off the course, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's a Callaway player. Yes. He's leading by 6 strokes going into the final round.
Yes.
When he doesn't play on Sunday, I don't have a dollar figure. I doubt you would share it if you had it. But I mean, you actually go, if this guy's leading by 6 strokes and he's in the final group and he goes on to win, which his score would have held up, even if he just played even, his score would have held up, right?
Yep.
He could have been 5 over and still won the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
How much exposure Callaway in this particular instance would have gotten from his hat, his golf bag, his ball spinning on the green. I mean, you're probably talking about millions of impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were bummed about that. We wanted him to win, and it's important for us. We take advantage when our guys win, and certainly he had his a really good chance to win. So it was a bummer, and hate to see it, but I think, these things happen, and that's just kind of the world we're living in, and deal with it and move on.
Or get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Or maybe the whole story is not out there. So.
Whoa, break some news then, Jay Finn. Break some news, baby. Get us on the Golf Channel.
Oh, look, I think that not everybody, knows what everybody's status is, and it's all their own choice. And whether he did or he didn't, it's his choice, right? And
true,
you guys are right. We can all do whatever we want to do. But I do think that not everybody knows the full story, either in every scenario, right? Whether it's John Rahm or anybody on the Padres or wherever they may be. So.
All right. Well, look, we've talked about Phil. You say it's hard to doubt Phil Mickelson. I think everybody here would agree. Xander Shafley, you've already mentioned him as another Callaway player, another San Diego local who's been up at the test center. So what about a guy like Xander, his game, this course, the distance it's playing, the rough, et cetera? Like, scout out Xander Shafley.
I think he's one of the top players in the world for a reason. And that's because he does everything really, really well. And if you pay close attention to a lot of what Phil has said as to kind of one of the reasons he won, it's because of Xander, and it's because of playing a lot of golf last year when they didn't have any tournaments and they were just playing around San Diego, whether it was at the Farms or the Grand or Del Mar or wherever.
And going, the Bridges, La Jolla.
Yeah, he couldn't beat Xander. So was his kind of drive to, well, wait a minute, I can't even beat the guy I'm playing with around town. So how am I going to win on the PGA Tour? And that was one of his big inspirations. And, I've been, you hear some of the stories of those two going back and forth. And Phil told a story, and I got to hear Xander and Phil say it even personally, but, they were playing at the Farms, and Xander was beating him pretty good. And Phil walked up to the 16th tee there, which is a par 3, and out of turn played first, because he's Phil and he does that, trying to get an edge, and hit it to like 4 feet. And, as Xander said, he was chirping a little bit, and Xander got up and knocked it in the hole. And Xander said he looked back and Phil was sitting in the cart, and used a pretty key term to describe how Phil was sitting in the golf cart, not very happy about the situation. But, I think that's a great analogy, and it keeps those guys sharp. And, Charlie, who I think you're having on this week as well, he's been a part of a lot of that as well, and actually helped Xander a lot early in his career. So it's amazing to hear the stories of those guys, all having San Diego ties, and how much they help each other, even though, it's such an individual game.
Yeah, we're talking to Jason Finley. He's at the corporate headquarters of Callaway Golf in Carlsbad, and we're getting ready for the U.S. Open this week. You just mentioned Charlie. Everybody who's a great friend knows that name. Charlie Hoffman is the one PGA Tour player in particular that great friends root for. When Charlie's on the course this week, he'll hear a lot of great friends, and he'll give a lot of acknowledgement. I'm so happy for him that he made it in, because, Alex, what would you say? Like, was it maybe 4 weeks ago or so? He'd come in third at, was it the Colonial?
Yep, in Fort Worth. Yep.
Right. And he came in third, but his world ranking was like 63. And we had him on, and he's like, I still have to get into the top 60 or I'm going to have to go to the qualifiers. But it seemed like Charlie was very keen and focused on wanting to play in this U.S. Open because it's in his hometown. How could this happen in his hometown and him not be a part of it? Yep. Well, he worked his way up to top 60 in the world, and he will be playing. I sent him a message yesterday saying, dude, this is the time. I mean, I don't mean to put any pressure on anybody, but hometown kid, PGA Tour player, seeing Phil Mickelson win a major at 50 years old, 50 plus, home course, opportunity, make it in. I would love to see Charlie Hoffman win this thing, and hopefully his game's in shape to do it, because he seems to be on a very good upward trend.
Yeah, he's on a nice run, and he's had a good little, comeback. He was really hurt, early in the year. You guys talked to him a little bit, around Torrey Pines when they were here in February, and he was hurt, and he had made a little run up, but ever since he came back from that, he's been on a little bit of a heater. So it's fun to see and certainly follow along. And I hope it's him and a bunch of Callaway guys.
Yeah, right. Because Jason and Charlie were high school pals, high school golf teammates. And that is how we have gotten this relationship with Charlie over the years, is through Jason, who connected us. And obviously we all hit it off. And now we got a really great relationship on and off the air. But
He's
is
on
all
tomorrow, by the way.
Jay Finn. Oh, really? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to bother him Thursday.
He's going to zoom in. He's going to zoom in from the course, he said.
Yes.
Who do you want signed to Callaway that you don't have?
Great question.
Is that a tampering fine though?
Like,
can you say
it's like
that?
inside golf tampering. Yeah. I think for us, it's all about winning and certainly that exposure that we talked a little bit about earlier. But you also want good guys, right? Like there's some guys out there that have better reputations than others, and that's not to say we wouldn't sign them, but that's part of it,
Bryson? Yeah, thank you. Because here's a question that I have, because these guys are going back and forth, and one says it's good for the game of golf. I tend to agree that a little back and forth between two guys is great for any sport because it raises a rivalry, and so it raises the interest in the sport when it comes to these two guys. Golf is such a wide sport of anybody can win on any given day. Do you find it that you would want more guys going back and forth? Would you want to sign, quote unquote, a bad boy to your brand?
I don't think we'd ever be opposed to it. It's all part of the total package, right? And you got to figure that out as you go through it. And you wouldn't want to have all those guys. You want to blend kind of the good with the bad there too. But those guys that have a little bit of that, let's call it brashness to them, they tend to be the ones that win a little bit too, right? Because they have a little bit of that fire inside. So that ultimately for us, the winning and the exposure, that's what drives our business. So we want guys that are going to win, right, and are going to be up there in the biggest moments, right? There's going to be more people watching golf on this Sunday than there is just about any other Sunday of the year. Maybe Masters Sunday, maybe. But other than that, there's no bigger weekend. So you want the guys that are in events like this to be up there on the weekend in contention, because that's how you're going to be most visible with your brand.
All right, we're talking to Jason Finley. He is at headquarters in Carlsbad for Callaway Golf. And if it wasn't for this guy right here, people, you guys know the story. I mean, who knows what would have happened? Seriously. Like I don't know what would have happened. Would I have left and gone to Houston? I doubt it. Yeah, I wasn't really moving to Houston. Would Alex have found another job in radio? Probably.
Nah.
Browner? Nah. Well, what do you think? Okay, you ready? Go ahead. Here goes. If Jason Finley doesn't offer us the Callaway Studios 2 years ago, Alex, what are you doing today?
Oh, I have no idea, dude. Probably living off my fiance's money.
Nice.
Yeah. I probably would have pushed for kids and be like, let me be a house husband, probably would have done something like that.
Leave it in.
Browner.
I really don't know though.
Browner, what are you doing? What are you doing 2 years later if it's not for Finley giving us the Callaway Studios 2 years ago to keep this thing alive? What are you doing today if it's not for Finley?
Stand up, probably stand up. Stand up, because I've done it before. When I first graduated college, I did it for like 6 to 7 months. I was trying to be an actor. My friends always encouraging me to come and do it again. So probably that.
Okay, cool.
I would say for a guarantee, the only thing that I can guarantee is I would have left San Diego, because my fiance at the time was pushing, because she wanted to move, and she has a job where she can move. So that definitely would have happened.
Where'd you want to move to? Texas?
No, she's just super open. She's like, I don't care if it's across the country. I don't care if it's north part of the country. She has all these different offices across the country she could have moved to. So we definitely would have left San Diego.
I really don't have any idea what I'd be doing. I mean, I don't, because the first thing Alex and I were driving up to Callaway one day to do the show, and Alex looked at me and he goes, "Hey, dude, look, man, if going to Houston is the best thing for your family, then go do it." And I was like, "No, man, I don't think so. I don't think I can do it." Like I still was really committed to what we were up to. So, hey, Jay Finn, let me real quickly. We got 2 minutes to go here. Really,
so
like
thanks.
a minute 30. Yeah. First of all, thank you, Jason Finley.
We have jobs because of you.
We love you, buddy.
And we never got in trouble for having you here. We had a few disgruntled phone calls, but that was about it.
Yeah. Well, they're just trolls out there. Hey, listen, Bryson DeChambeau is 16-1. Brooks Koepka is 18-1. This is turning into the rivalry of the PGA Tour. Yeah, who do you like of those two this week?
I think of those two, I would probably say Brooks.
And are you like
not giving us any more?
Are you like rooting for Phil? Like for real? Like is the company? I know like it doesn't matter
for sure,
if a Callaway guy wins, but you guys
Yeah.
got to be rooting for Phil, right?
Yeah, Phil's one of the few guys that if Phil wins, it's meaningful to our business. Right?
Champagne bottles.
It
Champagne
shows up.
bottles.
Yeah, and if even if a John Rahm won, it still wouldn't have the same impact on our business as if Phil won. So yeah, if I could have one person win for the story and our business and everything all combined, it would definitely be Phil. That would be incredible.
If Phil Mickelson wins this U.S. Open, this is the craziest story.
Has anybody
in a long ass time?
I'm sure
to
it's
win-
happened, right? Like
What?
people have won back-to-back majors, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
not at 50
Not
years
at 50.
old.
Not at,
Right.
he turns 51 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Phil. Gonna get you some of that expensive red wine you like, man. I mean, I'm not, but maybe
Not till
Jason.
About to say, woo, big money.
Hey, Jay Finn, thank you to you. Thanks to Callaway Golf. We appreciate you guys big time. And I won't see you at the U.S. Open, but you might see me because I'll be walking around there on Saturday. Look for me on TV.
Well, wear your hat.
Yeah, I will. I'll be rocking a Callaway
Not
hat.
a
for
sided
sure.
hat, a Callaway hat.
Callaway hat, not sided hat. Okay. Thanks, Jay Finn. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jay Finn, we appreciate you. We got a lot more to get to that we still haven't yet. So stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, and we're back in a second.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Catch Kaplan and Crew Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. If you've listened to Scott Kaplan the last 20 years, you know one thing. He likes to stir up some shit. A new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
It's time to eat like you won't always be wearing elastic waistbands. With Pollo Fit Bowls, made with organic super greens from El Pollo Loco.
Welcome to the Jacobs & Cushman San Diego Food Bank and our 90,000 square foot facility. We feed 350,000 people every single month. Many people ask, how can I help? You can volunteer for the San Diego Food Bank. Just go to sandiegofoodbank.org, register to volunteer. No group is too small, no group is too large, but those volunteers are integral to our success in feeding the community. Another way you can help is by hosting a food drive. Just go online and register your group, your company, or organization. It's that easy. Another great way is through our virtual food drive, where you can literally buy food on our behalf. Lastly, another great way to make an impact is to go online and make a financial contribution to the San Diego or North County Food Bank. On behalf of the San Diego Food Bank, our staff, our volunteers, and the 350,000 people we serve every month, thank you for helping us fight hunger and feed hope in San Diego County.
Adios, love handles.
Adios, couch.
Adios, Quarantine 15.
Say adios to the quarantine bod with Pollo Fit Bowls, made with fire-grilled chicken and organic super greens from El Pollo Loco.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
1904 FC is set for their next match this Wednesday against New Amsterdam FC. The club had a 1-1 draw against Chattanooga FC on Saturday. 1904 got ahead in the 47th minute with a goal from Reese Alexander Gordy, but Chattanooga was able to tie things up in the 89th minute. Wednesday will be 1904's last home game of the spring season. They currently sit at number 6 in the National Independent Soccer Association standings. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Rich Eisen here, inviting you to catch my show, The Rich Eisen Show, on our flagship radio station, the Mightier 1090. We're on every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time. You'll like what you hear. If not, that's just, I guess, too bad.
A new generation of radio, the all-new and Mightier 1090.
The Olympic Games, where the world's best athletes will compete on the most prestigious stage. Catch all the action leading up to the Olympic Games on Guide to the Games every Tuesday on Your View. The series examines the qualification process, the history of the Games, and the teams and athletes that are expected to shine, plus information about the rules, events, and competitors. Don't miss Guide to the Games, Tuesdays on Your View.
Love Promise moments are part of the mission of what we do here at Subaru El Cajon. A Love Promise moment is when we as human beings deliver an experience beyond exceptional to any one of our guests, and then that guest's life is positively affected by that interaction. It's amazing to watch what happens when two human beings talk on that level and create something magical. And sometimes they drive away with a car, sometimes they don't, but we've had an impact on that person's life, and that's the magic. You know, our employees react to things like Make-A-Wish, Feeding San Diego, and the other groups we help by jumping in.
This year, through COVID, we were able to help a little girl out and got her a rather large scooter that she needed for mobility.
We gave up our Christmas party as employees, and we actually adopted a wish of a young girl here in El Cajon, and we gave her a 3-wheel scooter so she didn't have to use her wheelchair all the time. It gives me goosebumps even thinking about it.
Time now for Kaplan and Crew tonight's Community Connect.
Shelter to Soldiers selects dogs from shelters and rescue groups all throughout California. Our ideal candidate at Shelter to Soldier is 8 months to a year and a half old. They're confident in different environments. They have strong social drive. Another motivator like food or toy drive. And ultimately, these are dogs that want to have a job and that have a greater purpose to become a service dog. Currently, about 85% of our dogs pass their service dog training. But if they don't pass, they become a career change. We don't like to use the word failure around here. So career change to an emotional support animal, or if that doesn't work out, then they career change to a pet dog. Still finding a loving placement and purpose in life.
Casa de Amparo has been around since 1978, and now we're in the Twin Oaks Valley in San Marcos with a beautiful campus. We work with children and families who've experienced chronic trauma over their lifetime, and we're here to help heal that.
I always told myself, you know, seeing that my mother passed away through domestic violence, that I would never put myself in that position. And if it ever happened, like, I would leave. But it's easier said than done.
These are foster youth who are not able to manage in a foster home environment. My husband and I have been a part of the San Marcos community in our businesses since 1993.
One of the beautiful things about Kayleen, she started here at Casa de Amparo years ago when we were at the shelter with a church group.
How can we best give back is to volunteer our time.
Because without donors like Bassett, we would not be able to provide the services we provide.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Shelter to Soldiers selects dogs from shelters and rescue groups all throughout California. Our ideal candidate at Shelter to Soldier is 8 months to a year and a half old. They're confident in different environments. They have strong social drive, another motivator like food or toy drive. And ultimately, these are dogs that want to have a job and that have a greater purpose to become a service dog. Currently, about 85% of our dogs pass their service dog training. But if they don't pass, they become a career change. We don't like to use the word failure around here. So career change to an emotional support animal, or if that doesn't work out, then they career change to a pet dog, still finding a loving placement and purpose in life.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Our skin ages. I find with a lot of traditional heavier makeup,